Okay, so imagine this, right? You're just going about your day, and boom, suddenly you realize
Oh, no.
you've been scammed.
Oh, the worst.
Like that feeling where your stomach just drops right to your toes.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to dive into exactly what to do if you ever find yourself in this kind of situation.
It's a horrible feeling.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, it's more common than people think.
Really?
Yeah. And thankfully, the Federal Trade Commission,
All right.
the FTC, they have a really great guide. It's called What to Do If You Were Scammed.
Oh, perfect.
And it's full of practical advice.
That's awesome. So we're talking straight from a government source, right?
Yes.
Some people who deal with this all the
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
So that's definitely reassuring.
Absolutely.
So if you've been scammed, like, what's the number one thing to remember?
Act fast.
Okay.
If we could shout it from the rooftops, we would.
Yeah.
Faster you take action, the better your chances are of getting your money back.
Right.
Or at least, limiting the damage.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Oh,
Every
yes.
second counts.
Absolutely.
But, where do you even begin with this?
Right.
It's kind of overwhelming.
It can be... So take a deep breath.
Okay.
It's actually more straightforward than you think.
Okay.
The first thing you got to do is figure out how you paid the scammer,
Gotcha.
because that will determine your next steps.
Mm-hmm.
Each payment method has its own process.
Okay, so let's break that down. Like, what if you paid with a credit card or a debit card?
So if you paid with a credit or debit card,
Yeah.
immediately call the company or bank that issued the card.
Right.
Tell them it's a fraudulent charge and really push for a transaction reversal.
Mm-hmm.
You have rights as a consumer.
Right.
They're obligated to help you navigate this.
Gotcha. So it sounds like being assertive is key here.
It definitely is.
So do you have any tips for, like, effectively getting your point across
For sure.
when you're talking to the credit card company?
Clarity is key.
Okay.
Have all the details of the transaction ready.
Okay.
Like the date, any communication you had with the scammer.
Yeah.
And explain that you believe you were deceived and that you didn't authorize the charge.
Right.
Don't be afraid to be firm, but remain polite.
Right.
Remember, the person on the other end is there to help you.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
But what if the scammer convinced you to pay with a gift card?
Ooh, gift cards?
Yeah.
Tricky.
It feels so final.
They are tricky, and scammers love them.
Yeah, why is that?
Because they're practically untraceable once they have the code.
Oh, wow.
It's not impossible to get a refund.
Okay.
It is more difficult.
Yeah.
Still, though, contact the gift card issuer.
Okay.
Report the scam, ask about their policies. And a tip, straight from the FTC, hold on to the physical card and the purchase receipt.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you never know. It might come in handy.
So there's always a chance.
There's a chance.
Even with gift cards?
Yes.
Okay, what about wire transfers?
Wire transfers, those are another tough one.
Oh, really?
If you wired money through a company like Western Union or MoneyGram, contact them right away. Clearly explain what happened and ask if they can reverse the transfer. Actually, the FTC guide has their direct phone numbers.
Perfect.
We'll include those in the show notes for easy access.
Oh, that's super helpful. So I'm sensing a theme here.
Okay, what's that?
Speed is key, no matter how you paid.
You got it. Don't hesitate to act.
Okay.
Now, what about those money transfer apps that everyone uses these days?
Oh, yeah.
Venmo, Zelle, things like that.
Right.
What if the scammer got you to pay through one of those?
That's a great question because it feels like those transactions happen so fast.
They do.
Like instantly.
They do, which makes acting fast even more crucial.
Right.
But the good news is a lot of these apps have fraud prevention measures in place.
Okay.
Report the transaction to the app company right away and see if you can reverse the payment. And if you linked your app to a credit or debit card,
Right.
report it to your card issuer as well. Double the protection.
Okay. So even with these like newer payment methods, there are steps you can take.
Yeah.
What about cryptocurrency?
Cryptocurrency.
Yeah, that feels like the Wild West of finance sometimes.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Cryptocurrency is generally decentralized.
Okay.
And the transactions are often irreversible.
Oh, cool.
Once the money is gone, it's usually gone for good.
Okay.
But you should still report the scam to the platform or exchange you used. It might not get your money back,
Right.
but it helps them track scammers and could protect others.
Okay, so even if it feels hopeless, reporting is still important.
Very important.
So what about good old-fashioned cash?
Cash.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, there's even something you can do if you sent cash by mail.
Really?
Contact the U.S. Postal Inspection Service as soon as possible.
Okay.
Ask for a package intercept. They may be able to stop the delivery and recover your money.
I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
So even with cash, don't lose hope.
Exactly.
What if you used a different delivery service like FedEx or UPS?
Same principle applies. Contact the delivery service, immediately explain the situation, and they might have procedures in place to help you out.
So again, the faster you act,
The better.
the better your chances of a
sucks.
positive outcome.
Yes.
So we talked about what to do, like right when you figure out you've been scammed, how important it is to move fast. But
Right.
I feel like there's got to be more to it than just losing the money, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like the emotional side of things.
Yeah, being scammed can be really emotionally devastating.
Yeah.
It's a violation of trust, and it can really shake your confidence.
Yeah, for sure. It's like that feeling of, could I have been so stupid? But I imagine blaming yourself is probably not the most helpful thing, right?
Not at all. Remember, scammers are professionals at this.
Yeah.
They are masters of manipulation, and they often prey on people's, good intentions, their kindness.
So how can someone move past that feeling of self-blame?
Right.
Like, how do you even begin to heal from that?
I think the first step is acknowledging those feelings.
Okay.
Don't bottle them up or pretend you're not affected. It's totally okay to feel angry or hurt or even foolish.
Yeah.
Talk to someone you trust.
Okay.
A friend, family member, a therapist. Tell them what happened.
Just like getting it out there can make a difference.
Exactly. Sharing your experience can help you process those difficult emotions and realize that you're not alone.
Right.
It's also really important to remember that anyone can fall victim to a scam.
Okay.
It's not a reflection of your intelligence or your worth.
That's a good point, because it's easy to feel like you're the only one. But knowing that other people have gone through similar things is comforting.
For sure. And it's important to keep in mind that these scammers are becoming increasingly sophisticated.
Oh, yeah.
They use technology, they use psychological tactics, social engineering
Wow.
to trick even the savviest people.
So we talked about acknowledging your feelings, talking to someone you trust. What are some other strategies for coping with the emotional fallout of this?
Self-care is really important.
Okay.
Make time for activities that bring you joy, help you relax.
Yeah.
Whether it's exercise or meditation, spending time in nature, or even just listening to your favorite music.
Right.
Prioritize those activities that nourish your well-being.
I feel like those are the first things to go
You're right.
when you're stressed out and overwhelmed.
Yeah, but they're so important for restoring your mental and emotional balance.
Okay.
And if you're finding it really hard to cope on your own,
Mm-hmm.
don't hesitate to seek professional help.
Right.
A therapist can provide you with support, guidance, and coping strategies that are tailored to your specific needs.
It's a sign of strength, not weakness, to ask for help, right?
Absolutely. Now, beyond the emotional healing,
Okay.
there's also the challenge of rebuilding trust.
Yeah.
It's really easy to become cynical and suspicious.
Yeah, for sure.
After you've been scammed,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to trusting other people.
So how do we avoid letting one bad experience just taint all of our future interactions?
I think it takes time and effort, but it is possible.
Okay.
Start by focusing on the positive relationships you have in your life.
Okay.
Remind yourself that there are still trustworthy people in the world.
Yeah, and maybe just being a little bit more cautious moving forward.
Yeah.
But not letting fear, control every single decision.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between healthy skepticism
Right.
and maintaining an open heart.
Yeah.
You don't want to let one bad experience just completely shut you off from connecting with others.
Okay, so what are the key takeaways for coping with the emotional side?
Okay, so number one, don't blame yourself.
Okay.
Talk to someone you trust.
Mm-hmm.
Practice self-care, and if you need to seek professional help,
Okay.
finally focus on rebuilding trust,
Right.
both in yourself and in others.
That's all really great advice, and it's important to remember that healing takes time. So be patient with yourself and allow yourself to process these feelings at your own pace.
For sure.
So in the final part of our deep dive, we're going to shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and talk about prevention. How can we all work together to protect ourselves and our communities from scams? So we talked about what to do if you've been scammed and how to deal with the emotional side of things.
Right.
But now I want to shift gears and talk about prevention.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, as they say, the best defense is a good offense.
Ooh, I like that analogy.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we arm ourselves with the knowledge to avoid falling victim in the first place?
Well, awareness is key.
Okay.
The more you know about common scams and the tactics that scammers use,
Mm-hmm.
the better you'll be able to spot them before they hook you.
Okay.
And remember, scammers are constantly evolving and coming up with new tricks.
So it's an ongoing education process.
It is.
What are some good resources for staying up to date?
You know, the FTC website is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
They have articles,
Yeah.
videos. They even have quizzes. Yeah, to test your scam spotting skills.
Oh, it's fun.
And they issue consumer alerts about like emerging scams. Like Scam School 101 right on their website.
That's so cool. I also imagine sharing that knowledge with friends and family,
Yes.
especially people who might be more vulnerable to scams.
Absolutely.
It's really important.
Yeah, it's like a neighborhood watch for scams.
I love that.
We got to look out for each other.
Yeah. Okay, so awareness is super crucial.
Mm-hmm.
What else can we do to protect ourselves?
Be wary of anything that sounds too good to be true. You know the old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Whether it's a ridiculously low price, a guaranteed investment return, or like a promise to fix all your problems with one magic solution,
Right.
approach with caution.
So skepticism is our superpower.
Yeah.
What about those phone calls and emails and text messages that we get constantly?
I know, it's like a barrage.
Yeah, it feels like a constant stream of potential scams.
It really is. So be super cautious about unsolicited contact. Don't click on links or open attachments from senders you don't know.
Yeah.
And always verify requests for personal information or money, even if they seem to be coming from a legitimate source.
So channel our inner detective, double check everything.
Exactly. And another crucial tip is to protect your personal information like it's gold.
Okay.
Be mindful of what you're sharing online on social media.
Right.
Scammers can use that info to create very convincing phishing attempts or even impersonate you.
It's crazy how much information is out there about us.
I know.
It's a good reminder to be really careful.
Yes.
What other proactive steps can we take?
Keep your software and your devices up to date.
Okay.
Those updates often have security patches
Right.
that fix vulnerabilities that scammers can exploit.
Gotcha.
And of course, use strong, unique passwords for all of your online accounts.
Okay, so that's a lot to remember.
It is.
But it's all about building those good habits and making security a priority.
It is. And remember, if you do fall victim to a scam, don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
Report it. Take the steps we talked about earlier and know that you're not alone.
That's a really important message. So we've covered a lot of ground today,
We have.
from the practical steps to take, to dealing with the emotional fallout, to all these prevention strategies.
Yes.
What's like the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this whole deep dive?
I would say knowledge is power.
Okay.
The more informed we are about scams and the ways that scammers try to trick us, the better we can protect ourselves and our loved ones.
Yeah. And remember, there's no shame in being scammed. It can happen to anyone.
Absolutely.
The important thing is how we respond,
Right.
how we learn from it, and use that knowledge to prevent it from happening again.
I completely agree. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and together we can make it much harder for these scammers to succeed.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into what to do if you've been scammed. We'll be back next time with another fascinating topic. Until then, stay curious and stay safe out there.